Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sasha if it's your first time here, also known as Healing Honey. And today, you guys, let's talk about some warning signs of a toxic relationship. Even though this is a pretty serious topic, it's important to just have a light heart and just recognize that in life you're gonna go through ups and downs, but it's better just to be truthful and honest about things like this because we don't want to be in denial, we don't want to make excuses, and we don't want to stunt our own growth by being in situations that do not benefit us or people that we care about. And so let's talk about some of these warning signs of a toxic relationship. And this could be parents, friends, an ex. Most of the time, it tends to be somebody who's like a romantic partner or who wants to be a romantic partner. Just somebody who feels deeply emotionally bonded to you, which is fine, you know, human connection, it's natural, but there are healthy relationships that serve your highest good. And then there are toxic relationships that will drain your energy and hurt you on so many levels, and it's not okay. I feel like sometimes in the world we overlook things like this, but you guys, these are things that I've seen my whole life, and there's some red flags, there's some patterns that I've noticed, and let's talk about them. Per usual, I'm going to use real life examples, things that I have witnessed within my own life, seen with my own eyes, and have witness the consequences of behaving like this. And I know the majority of my audience are women, so ladies, I wanted to make this to warn you so that you're not in an unhealthy situation, but also for you to check your own heart and make sure that you are not being toxic to somebody that you care about. Because when we talk about relationships, it involves your heart, and your heart is so powerful, it's so strong, way stronger than your mind, and love is the strongest force on this planet. But there's a difference between love and obsession, okay? There's a healthy way to love somebody, and then there's unhealthy ways, and so we want to be aware of this. First sign of a toxic relationship is that the other person uses emotional manipulation. There's always a sob story. They need to pull on your heartstrings to get you to side with them. And it's dangerous because people can try to use your heart against you, use your guys' history as a reason to keep you entangled in a situation that is not serving you. They might say things like, well, you made me this way. Nobody's ever gonna love you the way that I love you. Or nobody even understands you. Or they might try to shame you or use guilt or put you down. They're using emotions. They're probably crying, screaming, angry, and you might mistake this as a passionate thing. Like, oh, they love me so much. Like, they're getting so riled up over me. They're crying, they're screaming, they're having a fit, they're jumping on my car, they're punching walls, they're screaming, they're texting me like crazy. They're calling me 25 times in a row. They made a second profile after I blocked them. They're just knocking on my door when I told them I want to be left alone. Like, this is abusive behavior, you guys. And TV and just the world can make you think like, oh, it's romantic. No, it's not. It's actually scary. It's obsessive, and they're using emotions to manipulate you, emotional manipulation. And the harshest example that I've seen of this, heard of this, and multiple times, you guys, and it doesn't matter the age, and it doesn't matter the gender, man or woman, and it doesn't matter, obviously, things like race or any of that. I've seen it all across the board. The worst case of this is when they try to say to you that they don't want to live life, like if you won't be with them. They don't want to go on. They can't handle life if you're not there. This is such a red flag, you guys. This is an unhealthy dynamic. They are manipulating you, trying to force you to stay around and threatening you, saying that they're going to take their life, like if you don't if you're not there in this mess with them, it's a toxic relationship. There's nothing about that is love. Okay, so you have to try to get them help, not stick it out with them. Like, you're only gonna drag yourself down in the process. And sometimes you're not the right person to get them help. Like, you have to protect yourself and your own energy, because things can get crazy fast. When emotions are heightened, like, somebody who's acting this way is completely unstable within themselves. Like, they're dealing with a lot of chaos in their inner world, so you are not safe in their presence. You have to recognize this, that this is an unhealthy relationship, and protect yourself. And like, that means removing yourself from them completely, and like suggesting that they get help, but you don't have to be the one to force them into that, you know. And so it has to be their own choice. They have to even want to change, you know, so you can't make them. There's always a lot of sorries, like, oh, I'm so sorry, but then there's a pattern of this behavior. So they say sorry, but they're just talking, like they're gonna do it again because it's something deeper. And unfortunately, with situations like this, you do not want to get caught in that mix. Like, they're spiraling, and if you stick around, you're gonna go down with them. So that's just what I've seen, and it's gonna cause so many problems just that could be avoided, like if you back away and cut ties. So the second sign of a toxic relationship is that other person wants to control you. Okay, the good Lord made us free. Okay, we're free, we can speak, we can do what we want. So what gives another human being the right to try to control you and say it's from love? No, you're free. So if somebody is trying to monitor you, tell you who you can talk to, trying to control you, who you should hang out with, how you should behave, what you should do, red flag, red flag. They're trying to control your life because they fear losing you. Like, they fear that, oh, I don't want you to have any other friends, or move on from me, or whatever the situation. Have another influence in your life. Like, they want control over you. And they could try to make it seem sexy, but it's not. It's unhealthy. And the same thing for us. You don't want to try to control your partner. No, like, that is not love. We're all free to make our own choices. And so that is a major red flag, and we need to be aware of this. I know when we're kids, our parents have somewhat of control over us, and there's not so much that we can do. Hopefully they're utilizing it in a healthy way, but the moment you're of age and you're an adult and you go into the world, take your power back. Like, you should have control over your own life. And yeah, so if somebody is trying to influence you to do what they want you to do, red flag, toxic relationship. The third sign of a toxic relationship is that they threaten you. Okay, they'll say things like, oh, I'll expose you if you try to leave. I'll tell people this about you. You know, something bad is going to happen if you leave. There'll be bad consequences for you if you try to part ways from me or cut ties from me. Like, it's going to be bad for you. They might say this, or they might just, it might be more subtle, threatening you that, oh, if you part ways from them, it's going to be bad for you. Like, you're going to need them. They want you afraid. They try to use fear to manipulate you, and they're threatening you. And you guys, this does not equate to love or friendship or any type of purity. Control and force is like very much giving demonic vibes, okay? Like, I know that's kind of extreme, but because God, your creator, made you free, like, as powerful as God is, God made you free. So who is another human to try to like threaten you, control you, to do what they want you to do? It's very unhealthy, very toxic. If somebody's threatening you or implying it, if you have that feeling, it's coming from your own intuition and that's bad energy, you have to get away from them, run, leave. That's not the type of person who has your best interest at heart. They're so selfish that they're now, like, they could use violence, and violence can also be words. Like, it's a toxic relationship if they're threatening you, period. So you guys, the fourth sign of a toxic relationship is that the other person is constantly gaslighting you. Gaslighting just means that you tell them how you feel and then they turn around and tell you no, you don't. Like, they try to tell you how you feel, manipulate it to their advantage. Let's say you tell somebody, I don't feel like this is working out. Then they could turn around and be like, what are you talking about? Yes, it is. You just told me that you loved me yesterday. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. You're just confused right now. You're always changing your mind. One day you love me, one day you don't. And they're trying to tell you how you feel. Like, they don't respect your feelings. They use your feelings against you, and they try to force you to just comply with what they want. It can be hard to see in the moment, you guys, but all of these dynamics pretty much equal a codependent relationship, where it's like, we have to take responsibility too. If you find yourself in a situation in a toxic relationship, it's not just that the other person is so toxic. Like, you have to take some responsibility and ask yourself, like, why you are allowing them to be toxic for you. Because remember, we're free. Like, someone can try to manipulate you, force you, threaten you, gaslight you, but if you stick around, now you're participating in it, and you don't want to be an enabler, because somebody who's acting like this has some emotional, mental issues happening. And so if you stay around because you're trying to help them, save them, rescue them, you're the only one, they tell you you're the only one who can help them, then you believe it. Oh, I'm the only one who understands them. Oh, but I love them, I care for them, so I need to just be strong for them. They need me. When you're in the role of like, oh, they need me, then you are in a codependent relationship, because nobody needs anybody else. There's healthy ways to love, and then there's unhealthy ways to love, and you're not serving yourself or them by staying in a situation like this. Like, you're not helping them. You're not actually helping them. You're allowing them to continue to be toxic. And you're basically saying it's okay. And they're never going to change that way. And they're going to act this way with everybody in their life, or whoever allows them to. You're also not going to grow as a person. We should be able to free ourselves from situations like this. And it can be tricky. It's not always so easy, especially like in something like a marriage or something like that. You know, you've made promises, you've made commitments. So I would say, like, look at patterns, but you're gonna know, like, by how you feel. Is a relationship actually helping your life, or is it hurting you? Are they putting you down? Are they disrespecting you? Causing chaos in your life because they're so angry and feeling pain, like, within themselves. Life can be so tricky, you guys. Like, we're born into this life, and God is not here. Like, we can't see God with our eyes. Of course, God is within us and everywhere, but I mean, like, the human experience, it's like a mystery in a way, right? So we're all on this path, and like, there is a sense of abandonment. I'm talking about from a spiritual perspective. And so a lot of times when you're born, like, you're craving that safety from, first of all, your parents, but if something was shaky there, or then as we get older, you know, family members, friendships, relationships, and everyone is going through their own situation. And so things can get messy fast. And that's why it's important to recognize, like, warning signs of what's acceptable and what is not acceptable, because you have to respect yourself. Love yourself first, take care of your own well-being first, and prioritize that before you can even help anybody else. And so a lot of times we don't want to be alone, so we pair off or find ourselves in situations that become unhealthy because there's an unhealthy attachment. Like, if somebody's like, I can't go on without you, like, they need to be able to, you know? So drop me a comment, let me know your guys' thoughts on this video. Any relationship in your life should not feel forced. You should not feel guilty, like, oh, I have to be here. Pay attention to how it makes you feel. Someone who really loves you is going to uplift you, support you, encourage you to do what makes you happy. What makes you happy. They're gonna be behind that. They're gonna encourage that. They're gonna want the best for you without being selfish. And as we're just growing through life, we're gonna learn these things, maybe the hard way. Have compassion with people, but at the same time, protect your energy. So I'm sending you so much love and power and healing into your life. Drop me a comment, let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and I will see you in my next one. Take care of yourself. Bye.